This is part 2 of expanding single bracket. If you're confused, please go and watch part 1 of expanding single bracket. So let's start. Remember to multiply throughout your bracket with your multiplier. Your multiplier is 3 in this case. Therefore, 3 multiplied by x is 3x, and 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. Again, we'll multiply throughout this bracket with our multiplier of 2. 2 multiplied by x is 2x, and then 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. Now we're going to collect our like terms. Also remember to collect the sign in front of your term. So we will have 3x add 2x, and then we have add 12, and then add 10. Always remember to keep the sign in front of your variable when you're grouping like terms. So let's simplify. 3x add 2x is 5x, and then 12 add 10 will give you 22. So that is our first one. You can pause the video and try this one. Okay, remember to multiply throughout your bracket with your multiplier. Your multiplier here is 4. So 4 multiplied by x is 4x. And then 4 multiplied by negative 5 is negative 20. And then you do the same thing here, but this time your multiplier is plus 3. So you multiply throughout this bracket by plus 3. So 3 multiplied by x is 3x. And then your positive 3 multiplied by negative 4 will give you negative 12. Remember, a positive multiplied by a negative will give you a negative. Again, remember to collect your like terms or group your like terms. So here we have 4x and we have a positive 4x here as well. So let's group those terms. So that is 4x add 3x. And then we have minus 20 and minus 12. Therefore, 4x add 3x is 7x. And then minus 20 take away 12 will give you minus 32. And remember, you can't simplify any further because these are unlike terms. Okay, follow me. Let's look on some other question. If this video helped, subscribe. This method will help you to expand double bracket. Okay, let's start. Remember, you multiply throughout your bracket with your multiplier. So here your multiplier is negative 5. So negative 5 multiplied by x is negative 5x. And then negative 5 multiplied by 4 will give you negative 20. And again, you repeat the same process, but this time your multiplier is positive 4. So multiply your positive 4 with everything inside the bracket. So multiply throughout your bracket with positive 4. So 4 multiplied by x is 4x, and then 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. Again, remember to collect your like terms. So here we have the x's always group your like terms and remember to keep the sign in front of the variable. So here we have minus 5x and here we have positive 4x. And then we group the numbers. So here we have minus 20. Always keep the sign in front of your number or variable when you're grouping. And then we have a positive 24. And now we can simplify. So we can subtract because the signs are different. So this will give you, so subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. So this will give you negative 1x. And then again, we subtract as the signs are different and keep the sign of the bigger number. So this will give you 4, positive 4. Another way that we could do this is thinking of this 20 negative pair with 20 positive to give you 0. Therefore, a positive 4 will remain. Again, 20 negatives pair with 20 positives to give you 0, and we have 4 remaining. So that's one way, another way that you could have simplified those numbers. Again, this cannot be simplified any further because they are unlike terms. So it's negative x add 4. Okay, stay with us. You can pause the video and try this question. Okay, let's expand and simplify. Again, we must multiply throughout our bracket with our multiplier, and our multiplier is minus 4. Therefore, minus 4 or negative 4 multiplied by x is negative 4x, and then negative 4 multiplied by negative 2 will give you a positive 8. Remember, a negative multiplied by a negative will give you a positive. Okay, and we're going to repeat the same process here, but this time your multiplier is negative 3. So we multiply throughout our bracket with negative 3. Therefore, negative 3 multiplied by x will give us negative 3x, and then negative 3 multiplied by negative 4 will give you a positive 12, because a negative multiplied by a negative is a positive. Now we will collect like terms, and remember to keep the sign in front of your variable. So here we have a minus 4x, negative 4x. We can put it right here and then collect our negative 3x, and we group those. And then we go for the numbers, collect the numbers. So this is positive 8, and this is positive 12. Okay. So negative 4 take away 3x will give you a negative 7x, and then your 8 add your 12 will give you 20. So remember, this cannot be simplified any further. If this video helped, please like, subscribe, and share. And our next video will be expanding double bracket.